Tea drinking, a common custom since ancient times, has been influenced billions of people for thousands of years. Obviously, tea has played a big role in the development of agriculture and culture. The broadleaf magnolia evolved into wild tea plants in the late tertiary period, eventually leading to their cultivation as tea trees. In a period of some 30 million years, tea trees eventually were grown over a large area. In the Quaternary glacial period, a large number of species became extinct except for one area in southwest China, where the world's only surviving trees evolved into a tea garden of Eden. Lanshan County in Pu'er City of Yunnan, located at 22 degrees 11 minutes 14 seconds north and 100 degrees 0 minutes 39 seconds east, was the scene of major geological changes in mountain range of Sichuan and Yunnan billions of years ago, which forced the Lanshan River to move southward while Jing Mai Mountain rose. Thus, the world's earliest native tea zone was created. Jing Mai Mountain covered an area of 394 square kilometers, traditionally has been home to the Bulang and Dai ethnic groups. This World Heritage Site candidate, covering a core area of 7,167.89 hectares and a buffer area of 10,536.61 hectares. It is where the ancient tea forests are best preserved, forming a great museum of tea cultivation and culture. The ancient tea trees of Jing Mai Mountain area in the Lanshan River Valley first emerged an estimated 35 million years ago and have since experienced 5 stages of evolution. They are regarded as the oldest and best preserved tea trees in the world, for which Pu'er is hailed as the source of tea by the International Tea Committee. From historical records and sutras found from the temple in the mountain, the first cultivated tea plantation appeared there in the early 7th century. More than 1,000 years ago, Zhao Nuola, the ancestor of Dai ethnic group, led his people to settle in Jing Mai Mountain. Also, Pa Ailang, the ancestor of Bulang ethnic group, migrated here and used tea leaves to cure group members suffering from the plague. As he was dying, he told his offspring that if I leave gold and silver, you could run out. If I leave flocks and herds, they could die off from disease. Only making full use of such leaves, you will be never used up. The leaves are the same tea leaves we drink today. Thus, the people living in Jing Mai Mountain have been cultivating tea trees for more than a millennium. Tea trees cultivation here has a continuous history far longer than any other tea plantation in the world. The ancient tea forests here cover 1,231 hectares, with over 1.2 million tea trees, or 1,000 trees per hectare. They make up 17.17% of the overall tea tree planting area. Most trees rise to a height of 4 to 8 meters, the highest standing close to 12 meters high. The cultivation and conservation of the ancient tea trees in the mountain derives from a superb ecological wisdom nurtured over the centuries. Here, let's analyze the tea tree planting in the simulated natural ecology. Interplanted trees are free from chemical fertilizers and pesticides. This leads to biodiversity. Pest control and organic food delivery are carried out within the natural environment, creating a stable ecosystem. The cultivation and conservation of the ancient tea trees follows traditional conservation methods, totally unaffected by the modern planting industry. Tea leaves are processed also in the traditional way. Pickers collected the tender tree leaves in the early morning and placed them in sunlight to dry fast. They then rapidly fry-bake the leaves in iron pots before twisting them into a smaller shape for further sun-drying. The final stage is to screen and package the tea leaves. Every spot follows a long tradition. Until now, main labor force in Jing Mai Mountain lives on cultivating tea trees. Tea cooperatives are set up to standardize the work. Cooperative members work hard for conservation of the ecological environment. They enjoy higher incomes than other areas. Taking tea as food or medicine, it is an essential element in Aboriginal dietary system. Tea finds its way into the traditional diet, ethnic medicine, house decoration, ethnic religion, weddings and funerals in Jing Mai Mountain area. The Jing Mai people have created a highly complex, natural and cultural ecological system under which they can work most effectively and harmoniously. Local residents have long built their housing, adapting to Jing Mai mountain environment, which runs north-south like the elephant worshipped by Aboriginals. 5 Bulan traditional villages represent its trunk, head, body and tail. The living environment fully embodies religious worship. In the area of the World Heritage Site candidate, there are nearly 4,000 buildings. Over half of them are stilt houses. Each village has a temple or ancestral temple at the center, reflecting traditional religion and ancestor worship. From the highlands to the lowlands, Jing Mai Mountain is composed of forests, ancient tea trees, traditional villages, modern ecological tea plantations, and paddy fields, reflecting the great wisdom of local people. Water Sprinkling Festival, most celebrated by the Dai people every April, is also the Bulang people's grandest festival held to worship the tea gods and tea ancestors. All these form the belief system derived from the ecologic ethic. People here respect nature and love the environment, and this finds expression in the cultivation and conservation of tea trees, as well as daily life and behavior. They have created basic values, still carefully followed today. Since ancient times, residents here have led an affluent life. If the ancient tea forests of puerh Jing Mai Mountain becomes a World Heritage Site, they will do better in ancient tea trees cultivation and conservation in the future. Succeeding generations for over 1,000 years have been making great and continued efforts to build a forest's rim around Jing Mai. Only tea trees can be planted, and no felling is allowed inside the rim. Also, outside materials and plants are not allowed to enter. The government has enacted regulations for the cultivation and conservation of ancient tea trees. As a result, folklore and culture related to tea trees in Jing Mai Mountain have developed apace. In October 2013, the area became a unit subject to state protection according to law. Jing Mai Mountain witnesses the formation and development of the world's most important original source of tea trees along the Lancang River Valley, as well as the human discovery, cultivation, and growing of tea, which exerts great impact on human civilization. Ancient tea trees, the landscape and traditional way of protection and conservation have produced a unique Jing Mai Mountain ancient tea trees and human habitat environment. This part of the world features a high combination of nature and culture, represented by forests, tea tree plantation, and villages, a combination of ecological, life, economic, cultural, and belief functions. Thanks to the efforts made to integrate traditional and modern elements, folklore and government policies, Jing Mai Mountain has been free from any irreversible human interference. Ancient tea trees and culture are better conserved in a sustainable way.